Hi, my name is Mike Cooley, and I'm a mindfulness teacher on the Isle of Man.
Hi, my name's Adam Dennard. I'm an ecologist with Manx Wildlife Trust and also a participant, an attendee of Mike's mindfulness teachings. And I'm the project officer for Wild Wellbeing funded by Manx Lottery Trust.
Now, our conversation today has really come about as a result of me chatting with fell runner Jim Reid, who decided to run the equivalent of the Pennine Way to raise funds for a wellbeing project that you both run. And before we find out about that project, Adam, how did you come to know Jim?
I've known Jim for a long time, yeah, and he's obviously very keen on fell running now. And I did sort of support him through the Cumbrian Ultra as well, which is like 100 miles through the Lake District. But he also has strong affinity with Buddhism and followed, I think, the Theravada Thai forest tradition at university, and through over his life has been on retreats and basically totally gets the value of the Buddhist teachings and what it can do for people mentally. And he's quite a recent attendee to our sessions, but I just got a bolt out of the blue message to say that I'm going to do this, and because I want these sessions to continue. I think it's really valuable for everybody, especially during lockdown. A lot of people have struggled and maybe valued, their mental health a bit, or not so valued, but sort of it shone a light on how you can suffer, even if you're not previously hasn't been a problem for you. Being forced into a situation might have made people maybe a little bit more introspective, perhaps. So yeah, it's great. So it's something. He's more than up to the task physically, I think, and also B, he totally gets it and comes along to the sessions as well. So it's wonderful.
So tell us how the sessions work then. What actually happens?
We basically pick a route that takes in, features like waterfalls or nice glens, nice headlands. We've used the Sound, we've used Bradda Head, which are examples where a bit more out in the open, but somewhere where I feel that the natural setting will enhance the teachings that might bring. So, whilst people are trying to get to some sort of more peaceful state, it basically, I'm probably repeating myself now, but it's just an enhancement really, and using that connection to nature to try and get people to a better place.
So tell us about your practices then. What do you do when you get out to these beautiful spaces?
Well, as Adam says, it's evolved a bit, but at the moment we've got it down to 3 practices. And so you can come along if you've never done anything like this before, and often it's full of people that just want to become more aware in nature. So we start by stopping, as always in mindfulness, you start by stopping. So we'll do a short, maybe 10-minute meditation just to stop, stop thinking, stop doing, stand still, notice that you're alive, you're breathing, nature is all around you, etc. And then Adam will, guide us through the glen, then through the up the hill or on the beach, wherever we're going, and we'll find another spot to do something else, which I think now has become a Nikan practice, which I think we've done on Late Lunch before. So it's these 3 questions to reflect and realize that no matter how much life seems like it's tough or that we complain about things, we're actually being supported all the time by life, by the people around us, by circumstances. So this kind of sense of gratitude and appreciation for the very fact that you're even here. And then we'll end that off by coming together again and stopping. Maybe there's some questions at the end, ways to take it forward. But it's just a way to stop and listen and drop back into your sensory experience. And that's a very mindful experience. And it's a very calming experience. And the feedback we've had has been really useful, and lots of people find it really beneficial to then take back into their busier lives. Well, we are nature. Human beings are nature, so, and all the things I talk about when we're on the walks is, on one walk we did some sky gazing, which is a Tibetan practice, where you just lie on your back and you watch the clouds coming and going. Just like your mind, thoughts come and go, or you notice that the waves in the sea and the river, they move like emotions in the body, so we are nature. Nature is a really good mirror to understand ourselves. And then when you add in things like, going into cold water or sea swimming and things like that, they all really help you become extra present, because it's really hard to think of anything when you're, immersed in cold water. And we've done this forever. Our ancestors knew how to listen. They knew how to go into cold water. They just knew how to be still. And that's something we've kind of lost touch with, but we are rediscovering it at the moment.
So Adam, I'm intrigued now that you have been doing this with Mike. Has it changed the way that you are now when you're out and about, whether it's with work or whether it's just, sort of in your free time out in nature? Do you find yourself now being more aware and mindful?
Well, it's I think actually by collaborating with Mike has now sort of sent me on a bit of a Buddhist path, really. And if you look at Buddhism, it really is ecology anyway. It basically reveres the interconnectedness of all things, which is really, as an ecologist, what you're told to look at is the relationships between plants and animals, the interconnectedness of it all. For me, I know other people wouldn't agree, but going out in nature and reconnecting, it's a sense of just reminding yourself of where you've come from. If you believe that we've evolved from the apes, and a lot of it is just reconnecting to where we feel at most at home. And I think, with the technology, the way it's gone, has really insulated us from that. And, some people feel very happy insulated from it, but a lot of us feel happier going back in to this sense of homecoming, I think, from being in it. Even, just standing and looking at a landscape, it has, for me, it has some sort of primal tap. Even just look how much fun people get from sitting around a campfire, that sort of primal need to gather fuel and get warm, and look at how things have changed in the last, sort of 2,500, 3,000 years. We've become irrevocably removed from the landscape in many ways, I think.
And yet here on the Isle of Man, we're so fortunate because it is literally on our doorstep to be able to just be completely immersed in unspoilt nature, really, isn't it? We're just so fortunate over here.
Yeah, but we've just done an article for Biosphere Isle of Man, and I just put a little phrase afterwards saying that even though we do have ready access, it's very easy even here to become, too busy and too technology driven to appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So it's important just to remind people to break free, step outside of that, and take time to appreciate what's around us, really.
I can highly recommend just going and hugging a tree. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Mike, just let us know then, Mike. I'm assuming obviously these can't be taking place at the moment while we're in something of a lockdown at the moment, but hopefully, especially with this support from Jim, hopefully these will restart. I mean, do we have any sort of idea of when this might happen? And if so, how can people actually take part in this?
Well, I mean, we were due to, the next walk was due on around Mackled Head. Obviously, that's postponed until we have a clearer idea of, when we can go forward. But I mean, if you follow me on my Facebook pages, I'm always putting the event there, Mindfulness in Wild Places, or you can search online, Mindfulness in Wild Places. For the next one, they're really popular. We've had to put a cap on the numbers because they've been so busy, and the places tend to go quite quickly as well. But we're really grateful for Jim's efforts. Hopefully we can just continue this and spread the message about how mindfulness and nature can really help each other.
Exactly. And Adam, before you go, just remind us where we can find out all the latest from Manx Wildlife Trust as well.
Yeah, so we're in these days we're on Facebook, Twitter. The website is probably one of the good starting points. I know that chatting to my CEO, Lee Morris, recently, he's very keen that we try and continue this in some shape or form with Mike Sessions, because one of our main strategic aims is to make sure that we help people connect strongly to nature. So, this is definitely ticks that box. So, yeah, there's lots of information on there. Obviously, at the moment, we're a bit tied on what events are going to be happening, but Facebook page, website, Twitter, I'm not sure if we're on Instagram, but those three main ones.